I rise to move the motion on the need to investigate admission of inmates and operations of Borstal facilities across Nigeria. The Senate notes that the Nigerian criminal justice system is made up of the police, the judiciary, and the Nigerian Correctional Service. Senate notes also that the effectiveness or otherwise of the system is predicated on how the different units interact in the discharge of their constitutionally assigned duties. The Senate is aware that the Correctional Service is vested with the responsibility of incarcerating persons convicted of crimes, ensuring that deviants are securely separated from the society, while attempting to rehabilitate, reform, and reunite such persons with the community as better and law-abiding persons. Senate also aware that the Nigerian Correctional Service is made up of prisons and the Borstal institutions vested with the responsibility of housing juvenile delinquents for the purpose of reformation. Senate further is aware that the Borstal institutions attempt to keep delinquents out of prison and away from adult offenders to avoid molestation and negative influence that can make them to become repeat offenders. Senate notes that at the moment, there are only 3 Borstal facilities in Nigeria, situated in Kaduna, Abeokuta, and Ilorin. Senate further notes that these Borstal facilities were established to admit only male juvenile delinquents between ages 16 and 21 at the day of conviction. Aware that the Clause 9 of the Borstal Institution and Remand Centers Act, Subsidiary Legislation 1962, provides that delinquents are to be admitted. Senate is aware that the Clause 9 of the Borstal Institution and Remand Center Act, Subsidiary Legislation 1962, provides that delinquents are to be admitted into the institution with a warrant from the court, committing them to a sentence of Borstal training, and provides for 3 months observation period of the inmates. Senate further is aware that Clause 123 of the subsidiary legislation also provides that courts of competent jurisdiction may, pending determination of suitability for Borstal training, order remand or detention in a remand center or Borstal, provided that persons are not less than 16 years but under 21 years of age. The Senate is concerned that a publication titled Inside Ilorin Borstal Home, where deviant students learn life lessons and hard way, authored by Temitope Mustafa and published by the International Center for Investigative Reporting in September 2020, alludes to young persons being held in the facility without any conviction or directive of the courts. The Senate also is concerned that the publication also alludes to a statement by officials of the institution stating that none of these minors and young persons is in conflict with the law. Senate is disturbed that some of these young persons were said to have been admitted to the facility when they were younger than 16, the minimum age prescribed by the law. Senate is further disturbed that on page 3 of Daily Trust newspaper, published on Thursday, 10th March 2020, titled Not Yet Uhuru, the Dilemma of Children Freed from Borstal Facility. The author, Hamid Oyegbade, documents the experiences of teenagers treated to the facility under the guise that they were being sent off to boarding schools. Senate notes with concern that the reason given for this include evasion of parental responsibility and allegations of stubbornness, truancy, substance abuse, and smoking, amongst others. Senate is saddened that The publication further alleges that 220 inmates of the Borstal facility in Ilorin, only 7 have reasons to be there. Opines that this unjustifiable incarceration without due process is in breach of the Borstal Institution Act, the Child Rights Act, and the fundamental human rights of every Nigerian as enshrined in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended. Senate is aware that the Federal Ministry of Justice, collaborating with the United Nations Children's Education Fund, UNICEF, in its juvenile decongestion program, released 122 inmates, with UNICEF setting up a reintegration plan to ensure smooth transition into society. Senate also is aware that going by these numbers, there are young Nigerians still being held against their will, even though they have not committed any crime known to law. Senate is worried that unless this is looked into and the system reformed, we may be institutionalizing the creation of criminals. And Senate is conscious and determined to ensure the protection of every Nigerian, particularly minors and other vulnerable persons. Senate accordingly resolves to 1. Direct the Senate committees on Judiciary and Interior to investigate the circumstances surrounding the admission of each inmate of the Borstal facility and come up with appropriate recommendations to the Senate. 2. Direct the Federal Ministry of Justice to ensure prosecution of any officials of the Correctional Service found complicit in the unjustified incarceration of minors. 3. Direct relevant authorities to ensure strict implementation of the Child Rights Act. And 4. Urge state assemblies across the country to domesticate the Child Rights Act, 2003. I so move, Mr. President. Thank you.
Distinguished Senator Smart Ademi, Kogi West.
The inadequacies, the oppression, the miscarriage of justice, illegal detention of people, I think it's something that democracy must expose. So I salute and commend distinguished Senator Oluyemi Tinubu for this motion. It's one motion that I think is long overdue. But we are very happy that one of us is bringing this to the floor of the Senate. Mr. President, it is reported that in a camp, so to speak, where you have 220 inmates, only 7 have reasons to be there, Mr. President. Only 7 out of 200. For excuses that are really untenable, people are arrested. I thought this is something we have as a nation, we have developed and passed over. Because I recall, Mr. President, I don't know whether this is obtainable in the southern region, but when we were growing up in the north, when policemen arrest you, and you get to the police station, they will tell you are arrested because Kanaya Wumbanza. They will say you are just wandering, so you are arrested. And before you know, you are taken to the police station, you are sentenced for wandering. They say you are Kanaya Wumbanza, that is, you are roaming about. So I never knew that this thing is still operational. That people can be arrested for no reason, for smoking, and they are detained. I think, Mr. President, all the prayers in this motion by Distinguished Senator Tinubu should be supported by all of us, so that we can all be proud that we have a society where there is justice, fairness, and equity, where we do not have a situation where former institutions are established to breed formidable criminals, perhaps more than what we are coping with presently. So, Mr. President, I so submit.
Thank you very much. Distinguished colleagues, let's go to the prayers. Prayer 1. Direct the Senate committees on Judiciary and Interior to investigate the circumstances surrounding the admission of each inmate of the Borstal facilities and come up with appropriate recommendations to the Senate. Those in favor of prayer 1 say aye. Those against say nay.